So today, um, there were more hearings from the whistleblower, the Facebook whistleblower, and I thought it was interesting because we're talking about all these obvious things. In my opinion, I think most everything she says is pretty obvious that Facebook or social media in general is damaging for young people and specifically girls. The reason I thought this was interesting is because it's absolutely not applied across the board with other social media or new technology platforms. For example, if we were actually concerned with the image and self-esteem of young girls, specifically girls, why are they allowed on social media? The problem with this whole deal isn't Facebook, it's that there are parents out there that let their children on Snapchat or Facebook or Instagram when the entire world, including these parents, know that it's damaging for them. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Um, I also find it a little bit suspicious that we're talking about Facebook specifically when we're not talking about other stuff. If we really cared about the image of, having a healthy mental image for young girls, why isn't Pornhub being interviewed at the Senate? Because that obviously is damaging, not only for the men and boys that consume it, but for girls as well. I mean, that would be the epitome of unhealthy social media. So I think that that's a bit of a tell that this is not exactly what what we think it is. Obviously, everybody is against, the terrible practices of Facebook, left and right. That's why you're getting so much bipartisan support. But this isn't about stopping bad practices from Facebook. Both sides have different opinions on what is good and what's bad. The right wants more, the conservatives want more information on Facebook, and the left wants less information on Facebook. And that is principally counter to each other. So I don't think that you're going to find a lot of real progress here other than one side is going to win and the other is going to virtue signal and give in to the demands in the image of protecting girls, which, if we were going to protect girls, minors specifically, we just wouldn't let them on social media platforms. And I think that should apply to boys as well, because it's not healthy. Everybody knows it. We've always known it. So this isn't anything new. I think it is interesting, though. We have another story from Google. Well, not from Google, but this is Insider. It's about Google. Google is complying with the FBI and sending over information when certain users Google certain words, specifically names of some victims of some serious crimes. I imagine you can guess what kind of crimes they are. But these are pretty serious violations of privacy, and that seems to me a rather sacred quote unquote right on the left, as their entire preface for their abortion argument is under the guise of privacy. That's Roe v. Wade. They argue that there is a constitutional right to privacy in our Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, but then they go around and they unprincipally have Google report keyword searches, and then they might even look in on you. They might go to your location. So that doesn't seem to be very principled. That's kind of like the theme of our modern society is we're just not principled people anymore. The Facebook whistleblower, if we are as interested in her as we are other whistleblowers, then fine. But we're not. We're not supporting Project Veritas whistleblowers. She got something. This woman. She got something like $30,000 in the first few days of a GoFundMe, to go support her during her legal battle. And where are these charities funding the Project Veritas leakers, informers? So it just doesn't seem very principled. Our entire government is powered by crazy people that have every desire to break the rules to maintain their power. Specifically, excuse me, that also brings us to another story. There have been rumors. This one's more of a rumor story than like this is actually happening. But I think there's enough precedent for craziness in our time under this president and this is administration that this isn't too far off from what could be reality. There's rumors that there will be $1 trillion platinum coin that could be minted if there is no resolution on the budget in Congress. So let me just repeat that. There's something like $1.5 trillion of currency in circulation, and I think it's $20 trillion, close to $20 trillion in the money supply. As far as the money supply goes, this one coin will eliminate the value of your dollar by 5%. Now, what that means is that everything, your entire cash flow will be decreased by 5% if they print this. We're in some serious debt too. What's the U.S. debt clock? U.S. debt clock. We're in some awful debt. So we saw on that other page that was howstuffworks.com, money.howstuffworks.com. We're in sorry for the slow internet. It's not popping up, but I think we're $28 trillion. That is way more than I thought it was. I thought we were at 20. Oh my goodness. So we're in more debt than there is existing value in the world. Like there's not $28 trillion in the world. There's 20. We have more debt than there is property and production in the entire world. And we're going to just deflate the currency even more. Unreal. We already know the answer to all these problems. And it's as simple as hold our leaders accountable. Be a virtuous people that pursue good things. Work, production, righteousness. It's as easy as being an honest person and compelling or asking other people to be honest and teaching our children to be virtuous. But we live in a society where all we value is money and pleasure. And we will not have either. The Soviet Union couldn't even feed all of their citizens. How are we going to feed our citizens when our money is going to be decreased by 5%? Just from one coin. What's to stop them? Once they have the print for the coin, why would they stop at one? I wouldn't. I would make 28 of those bad boys. No more national debt. But then, money's not worth anything then. We go the way of whichever third world country requires wheelbarrows full of cash to get a loaf of bread. People are going to be selling their Ferraris for food, for a sandwich. Terrible. Anyways, I don't mean to close on a dark note, but I do believe that there's real hope out there, that there's peace to be had for those who would choose a healthy and honest society. If you would risk your life for your children, why wouldn't you risk your reputation or your career for them? I think that the only way out of this is to restore our faith in God and following principles in Him. Because clearly following our own principles and our own philosophies has not been working. I mean, this number is absolutely atrocious. $28.8 trillion. It's a rough one.